Hey everyone, so today I am going to be talking a little bit about light language, and just for full transparency, as I said that, this ear is ringing, so that is one of the signs that I use for my spirit team to confirm to me that it's okay to talk about a certain subject. So, I am just gonna get ready by setting the space up with the elixir and infused oil that I created earlier today. So, there we go. Okay, so actually making them, that smells really nice because I put a mixture of gorgeous elements into this oil, and when the time is right for me to share about the oils that I've created, I will do so. But in the meantime, there will be just a gentle, almost like a soft launch with those. So yeah, you might see a few of those in my videos, as that is something that I feel like I will do just to help ground me on top of a whole bunch of other things that I did previously to starting this. So yeah, I want to talk today about my light language journey and how I actually began with it. So hopefully this this video is going to be short-ish. I was thinking maybe I can do like a really long drawn out video, but if you guys are anything like me, having shorter videos to where I kind of get to the point and can get what I need out of it quickly is something that I can do more frequently. And yeah, so just to kind of make it a little bit more accessible for everyone, it then just means that you can potentially take more from the content that I'm sharing, rather than struggling to understand absolutely everything and feeling like you need to take all of it on in one go. So for those of you who are new or just don't know, light language is what is known as the language of the soul, and literally speaking, there isn't a direct translation for light language, and there is the ability, however, to interpret the light language that comes through. So it can be activated in a number of ways, and the reason that this is because it, like, the way that it comes through can show you like ways to start with it. And like in my case, it came through initially with meditation, and that's sort of like my main go-to for things to come into my awareness, for me to reflect, have time to myself to really figure out what the next step is. So with that, if you are the person who is able to channel light language, then you are able to find like a closely related translation of what you are transmuting and like sharing with the world. Because you are in a very unique position. So if you're the one that's doing the channeling, you not only have the sounds or the actual like physical artwork, so this could be through like drawing, painting, and things like that. So light language actually refers more so to the energy and the frequency or the vibration behind the action that has led to somebody else or even yourself experiencing that light language. So yeah, you've got the sound, the drawing, the dance, and you can actually tap into or activate, unlock, open up, have access to the energy, because you can check in with yourself and be like, oh, what was that I felt? And then you can kind of go deeper. So you've got the output and then you've got the energy to support you, and then you can also access the visuals, or you can ask questions to your spirit team or your spirit guides to actually get a deeper sense of what that particular creation meant, or that particular conversation. So this communication option happens when typical language doesn't quite hit the spot. So when we talk about language, just to make you aware, I am a word nerd. I studied linguistics and I learn a lot of languages for fun. So yeah, learning languages and really kind of going deep into like what makes a language is something that I have studied for many years. And with this is almost like flipping it on its head, but because I'm a creative person, it's allowed me to really come into my own creative energy and really look at different outlets. So when you're thinking about language, there are so many rules that come into play when you're actually trying to think about, why can I use a word or a certain phrase in this context but not in another. So light language basically says like, screw the rules, however it comes out is how it comes out. That's how it is intended to be shared with the world. And from that point of view, there is no mistakes in light language. And what light language actually does is it kind of like teaches you to trust your creative knowledge and your like the creative innocence, because when you're a child you don't necessarily think like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make all these mistakes. I'm just going to be creative and get excited about the creation that I have made, and then that's that, and then move on to the next one. So that is in essence how light language kind of allows you to embrace that playful side of yourself. And then with the language and like how it's formed and whether you understand it or not, with the person who is sharing the light language from a subconscious level, and like with my own experience as well, there is that understanding that when you enter that space of being able to do so, you can share your light language however it comes out, but underneath all of the layers of the light language, there's the understanding between you and your spirit guides, and then whoever else is going to come into contact with it, that their soul understands what you are communicating. So with language, there are I would say, quite rigid rules. And with that, it's like that typical and conventional language is like it is written or communicated in different ways so that the other person can understand it. So this language isn't like one that you would write down and it's like, oh, here are the rules for this. No, it's very in the moment and it's very artistic and creative. And yeah, the key here is to have your mind be open to like receiving the energy that comes through from whoever is doing it. But again, discernment is just needed. Please do not interact with anyone if you do not agree with their belief system or like their teachings, because then that is just going to conflict with your own beliefs. And I encourage others, along with myself as well, to be fully expressive and being like really honest with how you're able to share certain things that are happening. And yeah, art is art and it should be celebrated by those who want to embrace it. So yeah, having that element of understanding and realizing that the way or the ways in which I channel light language can be very different from the next person. And it's not to say that my light language is better or like it's like the right way. It's just different. It's a different interpretation. And what I have found is that there are similarities between different facilitators who share light language, but also because it can be presented in a different way, there are because it can be presented in a different way, the energy behind it and the intention, it could in theory be the same intention or the same sort of like universal script, and that is then being shared, but because it's being shared in a number of different ways, so somebody could dance to the same energy, or somebody could write a song, somebody could do sound healing, somebody could then decide to make a physical product with that same core intention, but because the end results are different people are going to get different things from it. So yeah, I love I love light language so much. And you are also able to like tap into your own body and really check in with yourself to say like, oh, does this feel right? Does this feel okay right now? And what I will say is, with the way that I do and the way that I work with light language, it is very strong. So in the same way that a lot of people who work with Reiki and other energy healing types, they often say that when they're like in the zone, they can't, not that they can't control the energy, but they just sort of like know that it's a very intense action. So there are likely to be physical sensations, even if they're not in the same room as each other. That has been my experience with Reiki and other energy types, and it is exactly the same with light language. So I do have a preparation guide for those who want to come to me and enjoy a session, or even just enjoy something that I've created and put out onto social media, because it's energy. Again, like I keep saying, respect the water, and with that, respect energy as well, because I am a conduit and a vessel for Washea, and she is the goddess of water. It all kind of links in. So that is something to kind of help you understand a little more about light language. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them below, and I will I'll try to answer them. But if it makes more sense for me to make a video, I will then tag you, or I will message you and let you know what is actually going on with the answer, and where it is in my content, so that you're not having to look around, because I am going to be putting out more and more content that hopefully you guys are finding useful, and you can start to incorporate a lot of those things that I'm sharing alongside my creative projects that I'm working on at the moment. So I discovered light language one day when I went into an extended meditation, and I remember that the day that it happened, the light language activation, I just said, you know what, I'm gonna go and just relax into my meditation. And at this point, it had been something that I'd heard of, but I was like, oh, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to even look into any of that, never mind activate it. But again, with a lot of my activations and things where they've just happened, anything like my spiritual awakening and the different levels that I've gone through, I was never ready for any of those. Thinking about when they happened, I wasn't ready, because in my mind I had always said, okay, when I am able to reach the first level of Kundalini or whatever, or have the first experience with it, my life is going to look like this. And no, it doesn't happen that way. It just allows you to really be in the moment. And the first thing that I would say to really kind of help you get into that space of, no matter what happens, I'm safe, is start taking your intuition really seriously, because your body is going to start talking to you. Your body's already talking to you. It's up to you whether you decide to ignore it or take the time that you need to listen to those messages, those little nudges, even down to oh, what am I going to have to eat today, or when should I apply for this thing, or should I even apply? Those little answers, they're there. You just have to have that relationship. It's a bit like having a relationship with somebody else. You have to put that effort in, and you have to be honest about what you want with regards to that, because it will it will help you, but you have to show up and be serious about that relationship if it's something that you want and something that matters to you. And yeah, there are going to be times where you get angry, but with your intuition, the work doesn't really stop, it just evolves, and that can be said for healing as a whole. So yeah, like I really was not ready for the light language activation, but it was really nice when it came to me. And like, because I feel like I was quite gently introduced to it. So with this particular meditation, it then turned into an astral projection session. So that was me just flying around, and I landed in a beautiful space in my like mind's eye, like here. And like when I closed my eyes, this, my third eye here, opened up, and I just saw all these beautiful landscapes of like there was the night sky that was really clear and peaceful, and then there were like little huts, and I think it was a specific village, so it's not in like a place here on earth, so it's not like in a country or anything. Sometimes it is, but for this one it wasn't. It was just like, okay, you're just gonna see this this like movie play out in front of you. And with me, I am physically in, I'm like the main character, so I'm in the place. And what is really interesting is how I was able to like move through that visual. And what I tend to do when I'm in that space is like I'm able to look and do a 360 view of everything. So I can be looking straight ahead, but then I can just move around. And although in these meditation sessions where it looks like this, and like my astral projection, when I'm in that sort of like mode, I can only really see like straight in front of me. But then if I move slightly, anything outside of my peripheral vision then becomes visible, but I can't try and like move to the other side, because if I do, then it just ends up being black, like the void. So I have to like come back on this side where I'm able to see all of the stuff that I've been allowed to see, and then I'm slowly being able to like see the rest when it's my time to see it. So alongside my dream journal, like I do have that, and I do still keep notes of certain things, because with me, I will I will often see something and feel something and then make a note of it, and sometimes it relates to me, and in other instances it relates to somebody else. And something I have known for a while is that when I don't sleep, it means that somebody somewhere needs me to give them a message. And then as soon as I catch up with that person, I'll usually put out a post on Facebook, and I will just decide to breathe into it, and it feels good, because once they receive that message, I can go to sleep, and it just works like that. So yeah, like that was one of the days where I was like, oh no, I need to stay up, because there are also instances where I need to receive a message, and I need to pay attention to something because it's going to relate to something that I'm either creating or a conversation I'm going to have in the next few days or weeks. But in that moment, like, I have to pay attention. So I really slow down and had to look around everywhere. And yeah, with this particular light language activation, I went into one of the huts and there was this huge screen and there was a lot of artwork, and there was an even smaller movie on one of the screens inside, and there was this woman who was just so she was talking to a group of people, and it's almost like the storyteller idea, where there's somebody at the front and then they are sharing their experiences with an audience, and like they were just watching and listening with awe and sharing their experiences. So it was a very healing space that I was able to be a part of in my astral projection session. And then I was actually invited in there to like sit down and just listen. And from afar, it felt like I wasn't, I could hear something, but it didn't make much sense. And I was like, oh, it sounds nice. Like, is it a talk of some sort? Is it a different language? And like, now I know it's light language, but it was like, okay, I feel like I want to go and enjoy the art for what it is. And I wasn't sure how to ask, and I was just left in this space, and it was like, yeah, it's safe for you to go and enjoy. So do what you need to do, ask the questions you need to ask, and then when you are ready, you can come out of that situation and you can go to sleep. And that's exactly what I did. So I just I was moving around and just seeing the dancers in one corner, there was food being cooked in another, everyone was like laughing. This wasn't like a heavy situation, it was amazing. And I was like, oh, so this is like an astral concert that I'm going into. And it felt nice because then I woke up. Well, number one, I slept really well after I did that. And then I woke up with new insight and feeling really sure of my gifts. I was like, okay, cool, I can go and create something. And then, like, I would say that week to 2 weeks after, they were just so peaceful and I energetically felt lighter. So I tried to go back to that specific place and it didn't exist anymore. And I was like, I kept trying to go back and it just wasn't happening. So I just decided, like, okay, I will figure things out as I go along with this. And because I had the honor of actually going into like a deep meditation, I now like I do have like my own practices with that. So I will typically only do so when it feels right. Like I can't force light language, because even when I've like tried to do it, that doesn't feel right. So I'm just like, let me just allow it to come through. And I've noticed that with a lot of my content, when I'm able to just allow it to flow through, it feels so much better and it is then received a lot better. So I'm just checking my notes to make sure I didn't forget anything. Yeah, so that's cool. So, oh my god, this was meant to be a short video and it's like 30 minutes. Okay, all right, cool. All right, I'm gonna stop there because it is the Wave of Light ceremony, and I will be I'll be putting out a post for that. And then I'm gonna treat myself because I cannot believe that I have gone live and shown my face so much, but we're going with it, taking it one breath at a time. And as I keep saying, I lead first. So let me get this up so that you guys can start to receive whatever you would like to take from this. But I hope that you have a gentle day, and I will see you soon.